Hello, my dear friends. How are you feeling today? I hope you're cozy, relaxed, and ready for another reflective conversation here on The Gentle Path. Today, we're talking about something that may seem deceptively simple: what we drink. It's a topic that often flies under the radar, especially in the hustle of daily life. But as we grow older and wiser, the choices we make about what we sip can quietly shape our health in ways we might not have considered before. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered if those everyday beverages you reach for, familiar and comforting as they are, might be doing more harm than good? It's a thought I've been sitting with lately, especially after diving into some surprising research on the topic. So, pour yourself something soothing, perhaps a cup of herbal tea or a glass of water with lemon, and let's delve into this together. No judgment, no fear, just a little gentle exploration. Let's start with something many of us have turned to over the years in an effort to stay healthier: artificially sweetened drinks. You know, those diet sodas or sugar-free iced teas that promise sweetness without the sugar. For decades, they were marketed as the better option: 0 calories, no sugar spikes. And it's true. They may seem harmless, even responsible, right? But here's the thing. Recent research out of esteemed institutions, including insights from gut health experts like Dr. Helen Fraser, a leading geriatric nutritionist, shows that artificial sweeteners like aspartame and saccharin don't just pass through the body as many of us once believed. Instead, they can disrupt the delicate balance of bacteria in our gut, our microbiome. Now, the gut microbiome isn't just some abstract concept. It's one of your body's unsung heroes. It supports your immune system, helps regulate inflammation, and assists in detoxifying harmful substances. But when artificial sweeteners interfere with the composition of your gut bacteria, it can set off a domino effect. Difficulty managing glucose, low-grade inflammation, and over time, even an increased risk of certain cancers. For those of us in our 60s, 70s, and beyond, when our internal systems are already a touch more fragile, these effects can be amplified. One small change I'd like to suggest is swapping out those artificially sweetened options for something simpler and kinder to your body. Try a glass of water infused with cucumber or mint, or perhaps a lightly sweetened tea made with a teaspoon of honey or stevia. These small shifts may seem insignificant, but they offer long-term benefits: better digestion, more sustained energy, and peace of mind, knowing you're lowering your risk of chronic disease. Let's take a moment to breathe before we move to another common habit, this one tied to life's little indulgences. Picture yourself enjoying a glass of wine at dinner paired with bacon or a platter of deli meats. Feels comforting, doesn't it? But there's growing evidence that this combination, alcohol and processed meats together, is particularly troublesome for our health. You see, processed meats, like sausages or smoked bacon, contain nitrates and nitrites, which are preservatives. On their own, these substances can turn into compounds called nitrosamines in your body, known to be carcinogenic. But when alcohol enters the equation, it interferes with your liver's ability to detoxify, leaving your cells, vulnerable. This pairing has been linked to increased risks of cancers, particularly in the colon, stomach, and esophagus. I remember hearing the story of George, an 81-year-old who relished his weekend ritual: grilled sausages with a glass of red wine. But after some digestive troubles, his doctor delicately explained how these meals were compounding inflammation in his body. The good news is, George didn't have to give up his enjoyable evenings altogether. He started pairing wine with fish or fresh veggies instead of processed meats, a change he now calls refreshingly simple. and he still loves dinner time just as much. I'd like you to hear this loud and clear. Our rituals don't define us, but they can always evolve. So, maybe the next time you're planning a hearty dinner, consider a lighter dish. Grilled salmon, a nourishing grain salad, or roasted vegetables. You can still savor that glass of wine while giving your body a kinder experience. Let's pivot now to something deceptively innocent. Sugary soft drinks. Oh, how they've weaved their way into daily life. A cold soda with lunch. Maybe a fizzy lemon lime to quench your thirst. Feels harmless, doesn't it? But sugary beverages are far from just a treat. They can spark chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and cellular damage over time. And it's these very changes that create fertile ground for the development of cancer, especially as we age. I'll share the story of James, a retired bus driver in his mid-70s who depended on 2 sodas a day as his pick-me-up for years. After a health scare involving his pancreas, his doctor showed him studies linking sugary drinks to increased cancer risks. James described that realization as a wake-up call. He stopped drinking sodas cold turkey, switched to water and herbal teas, and told me, "My digestion is better. My energy feels different, like my body's thanking me for not giving it that extra sugar." If you're someone who loves a fizzy drink, don't despair. There are alternatives. Sparkling water with a splash of real juice can mimic the refreshment of soda without the harmful effects. And herbal teas, whether iced or warm, bring hydration and a touch of flavor that just feels good. Let these small swaps become acts of self-care, a way to honor your body each day. Finally, let's talk about one last, often overlooked habit: how we drink our hot beverages. Oh, the comfort of a steaming mug of tea or coffee as the sun rises. But here's the caution. If you drink them scalding hot, you may unknowingly harm the sensitive tissues in your throat and esophagus. Repeated exposure to drinks over 130 degrees Fahrenheit can, over time, irritate and damage these tissues, increasing the risk of esophageal cancer. Now, I know waiting for the perfect sip can feel inconvenient, especially in colder months when we crave that warmth. Henry, a 79-year-old friend, used to drink his tea boiling hot because, as he said, "That's how I've always done it." After his doctor advised otherwise, he adjusted his routine, letting his tea cool for a few minutes or opting for warm beverages instead. He told me, "I thought I'd miss the scalding heat, but I've actually learned to appreciate the richer flavors as the tea cools." So here's my gentle challenge for you. Let your drink sit a moment before that first sip. Test the temperature on your lips. And remember, the patience you practice is a loving gesture toward your throat, its tissues, and their long-term health. I want to leave you with this reflection. These habits, artificially sweetened drinks, alcohol and processed meats, sugary sodas, or scalding hot coffee, they aren't just bad habits. They're familiar ones, embedded in routines we've built over decades. Recognizing where a small tweak might make a big difference isn't a defeat. It's wisdom in action. So, friends, what stood out to you today? Did one of these resonate with your experience? Maybe you're already making changes, or perhaps you just feel inspired to pay a little more attention to what's in your glass. Remember, this isn't about guilt. It's about care, and care doesn't have to come all at once. Start small, trust yourself, and cherish the subtle but profound ways you can nurture your health. Thank you for spending this time with me here on The Gentle Path. You know, Your stories, comments, and experiences mean so much to me, so please share your thoughts below about this episode. Together, we'll keep walking forward, learning, growing, and caring for ourselves as we go. Until next time, take gentle care of yourself. You're so very worth it.